Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics of the day and the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense and just the right amount of sarcasm by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. All right, for today's show, my producer has prepared a best-of compilation for your enjoyment. It features some of the most intense, informative, and hilarious segments featured on the show. Hey, you think I'm funny? Wait till you see some of these segments. Be sure to like and share the video and tell me in the comments what your favorite segment for the show was. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and follow Money Chat Now on social media. That way you'll never miss a show. Be sure to tune in to Money Chat Now every day at 7:30 a.m. for all the latest going on in politics and the stock market. Hey, enjoy the video and don't forget to make it a profitable day. Well, we all know when the great scandemic hit this country, the entitled American public decided that they no longer had to go to an office to work. The government was now telling people they had to stay home and work from their bedroom, their kitchen, or their home office. You know, to protect the people from getting a cold. Well, we're not going to get into that subject right now. But anyway, now that the world have fought back against the tyrannical governments, especially ours, many American companies are asking their employees to return to the office and, well, you know, like be productive again. Tesla, under the leadership of Elon Musk, has been the most vocal in their return to the office policy. Musk said in two separate emails that people must show up for work at least 40 hours per week. If you don't show up, we will assume you have resigned, he said in one of the emails. I think that's brilliant. He continued, anyone who wishes to do remote work must be in the office for a minimum, and I mean a minimum, of 40 hours per week or depart Tesla. Wow. This is less than we ask of our factory workers, he said. So basically he's saying, get back to work. He even said in a tweet that remote workers should pretend to work somewhere else. I love it. It's so freaking brilliant. Anyway, so he's pretty serious about the return to work policy. However, there is a problem, or at least I should say the media wants us to believe there is a problem. Here's a recent report on the topic, and according to an article on CNBC, the return to office policy has caused a decline in morale, especially among teams that allowed employees to work remotely as needed before COVID-19. You mean they have to go to work now and they're upset? Aw, welcome to the real world. Anyway, the article reported that in general, Tesla has been open to remote work policy among employees' roles before the pandemic, so they were allowing remote work before the pandemic. The article also said that according to several current people who work there, Tesla recently wanted to bring employees into the San Francisco Bay Area to the office for 3 days per week, but a shortage of chairs, desk space, parking spots, and other resources proved too much. So the first thing is parking spaces. So if you come to work early, you're going to get a parking spot. If you come to work late, you're going to have to park on the street and walk there. So maybe you should come to work early. I find it hard to believe, by the way, that this is a real problem and not just an anti-Musk propaganda when in June, right after Musk mandated 40 hours on site for all Tesla employees, he also made steep cuts to its headcount. Employees who were previously designated as remote workers but could not relocate and be in the office 40 hours a week were given until September 30th to move or take severance packages from Tesla. So even if it is a problem, that problem will cure itself in 2 weeks anyway. Of course, the article went on to say that Tesla and Musk are racist with this policy because the article says that U.S. candidates who accepted remote job offers basically were mostly Black, Hispanic, Native American, Alaska Native, Pacific Islanders, and veterans and or people with disabilities. Candidates who accepted remote job offers were more likely to be also women. So either Musk is a racist for saying that people need to return to work, or in my opinion, the people who say that Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, Alaskan Natives, Pacific Islanders, and veterans can't figure out how to get to work, those are the people who are racist. Kind of like voter ID. You know, if you're Black or Hispanic, you can't get a driver's license or a valid ID because, because you're Black or Hispanic. Of course, Tesla and Musk declined to respond to the article, and frankly, why should they? This is clearly a piece designed to say how bad Musk is and how Tesla is for Americans. Because they mastered making the green vehicles that Washington wants all vehicles to be. I also wonder if Tesla is not being a union shop has anything to do with this propaganda. So the war against Biden, Harris, and other Democrat leaders continues as it gets more and more ironic every day. Have you heard about this war? You know, the war where the border states are trying to keep illegal migrants from crossing the border to enter the country as president and vice president continue to say there's no problem at the border. Well, as you know, this has escalated into Governor Abbott of Texas busting the illegal aliens to so-called sanctuary cities to keep his state from being overrun with the caring and feeding of these people. Well, this practice of busting the illegals to other cities is growing, and it's growing to the point where it can be considered a real war. Yesterday marked the pinnacle, however, of the transportation of migrants when Governor DeSantis sent planes with these illegal migrants to Martha's Vineyard to remove them from his state. On the same day, yesterday, Governor Abbott sent 2 buses of illegal migrants directly to the door of Kamala Harris's home in Washington, D.C. Oh my goodness, I gotta tell you, I got a chuckle out of this news report. Now, look, we all know that the mayors of the cities are complaining about this practice, and they're changing their tune and starting to say, look how we're treating these people. We're giving them food and we're giving them hugs. I don't know if you saw some of the videos, and it's funny because if you watch the videos on Fox or you watch the videos on CNN, they're completely different stories. The ones on Fox are like, if they would just stop the illegals coming in, this wouldn't happen. And the ones on CNN are like, look how kind we are. We're giving them food and hugs. Seriously, Martha's Vineyard, right? It's an area made up of upper white class liberals, and they're proving that their signs say they welcome all people. Well, the people of what is now called migrants' vineyards, they all understand, right? They understand the problem of too many migrants at once. They're going to get it. They're going to understand how quickly that many migrants is going to destroy their economy. Yes, you will be the welcoming, opening arms community for now. This political move will serve you well to try to say that the Republicans are racist and using the migrants as pawns in the war to protect the border, but after a while, you will have a new landscape in your town as Abbott does, and he has these people at the border. By the way, he's doing a favor to them by sending them to you. As a sanctuary city, you vowed to help these people. Now keep your promise. On the other hand, at least your lawns will all be mowed and your sidewalks will be clean and clear of snow, and it'll cost less. I'm actually looking forward to this practice continuing, not just for comedic value, but most importantly because these illegal aliens now have more warm places to live in a city that welcomes them. Yeah, right. So what is Biden's solution to the problem? Wait till you hear this. Biden actually barked the following words in an interview over this, right? He said, instead of working on us with solutions, Republicans are playing politics with human beings, using them as props. What they're doing is simply wrong. It's un-American. It's reckless. We have a process in place to manage migrants at the border. We're working on making sure it's safe and orderly and humane. Republican officials should not interfere with that process and wage these political stunts. What? Is he crazy? We have a process? The process should be turn them around and send them back home. Wait till you hear the next thing he said. It's long overdue for state Republicans to come to the table and provide a pathway for citizenship for dreamers, those in temporary status, farm workers, and essential workers. We need to modernize our laws so businesses get workers they need and families don't have to wait decades to be brought back together. It's time to get it done. This idiot doesn't see that thousands of people a day are entering our country with no background checks, no health screenings, and no place to house or feed them, and it's a problem. It's just another sign of dementia. Earlier, White House Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre denounced Republican governors Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott sending migrants to Martha's Vineyard and Vice President Kamala's residence in D.C., and she said it's a cruel, premeditated political stunt. She continued, and she said, the children Governor Abbott abandoned in Martha's Vineyard, the children that Governor Sanders abandoned, and well, they deserve better. They deserve better than being left on the streets of D.C. or being left in Martha's Vineyard. Well, duh. That's why he shipped them to you guys. You said you would take care of them. Now do it. They're in a safe place now. The sanctuary cities have been claiming they will take care of these people. Now carry on and take care of them. Just like the visions of the people who come to to a country has exacerbated the problem of illegal migrants crossing our border, you will see that the governments of these states will continue more and more trips as you, the sanctuary states, continue to prove it's the best place for these people to be. The ones on the buses and planes are the lucky lottery winners. Now they're in a state where they're welcome, and they get free transportation and free food to get there. Soon someone, maybe someone in Fox News, will interview the busted illegal migrants and say how grateful they are to have been chosen. I mean, if 1,000 people are coming across the border a day and these buses are only filled with 50 people, they have definitely been chosen to be the lucky ones being driven or flown from the cages that Obama erected to house these people in Texas. And now they go to beautiful places like Martha's Vineyard or Kamala Harris's house. Come on, that's fantastic. Let's give credit to Abbott and DeSantis for being so kind. Look, we have seen the privacy issues popping up with social media apps such as Facebook, Twitter, and all the rest of them, and each of the companies have their share of lawsuits. A few years ago, I started to notice a unique feature on several other websites. Many of the big companies had to sign up or sign in or log in using your Facebook login as the login for their site. I remember thinking this was either the greatest idea or this was kind of creepy. So anyway, so many of the companies also have login with Google as well. As you know, you simply click the link that says login with Facebook or Google, and the service you are wanting to use uses your data from Facebook to log you in. Well, of course, there must be a catch, and the catch is the sharing of data. Facebook now knows, at the very least, they know that you use this or this other product. On the other hand, how much data does the company you log into get? Now, many companies are starting to question this idea, and basically until about a month ago, shoppers on even Dell's website looking for a new laptop could log in using their Facebook credentials to avoid creating a new username and password. That option is now gone. Dell isn't alone. Other big brands, including Best Buy, Ford, Pottery Barn, Nike, Patagonia, Match, and Amazon's video streaming service, Twitch, have removed the ability to sign on Facebook. For Facebook, it's just more proof that their influence in the internet is now diminishing. We saw Apple's new privacy change rework how Facebook targets ads and mostly made it impossible to target ads to your base customer. This used to be great. It's now like going fishing in the ocean instead of a lake. Those with limited funds to advertise quickly exhaust their funds because the ads aren't targeted. And they don't appear in the feed of many who have no interest, or they actually end up appearing in the feed of many who have no interest. Facebook lost many cool features over the past years due to privacy concerns. I'll tell you, one of my absolute favorites was the facial recognition that used to find your friends in pictures and help tag them in the post. I really liked that feature, but man, was it creepy. So many of the companies are steering away from Facebook. In fact, many of the users are also steering away from Facebook. Look, it isn't as much fun as it used to be. It really isn't. Facebook used to be a place that you can express yourself, and I like to express myself. You can kind of tell that, right? The problem is that if I say anything on Facebook that Facebook doesn't like, they close my account or they put me in Facebook jail. Well, the carrot and the stick worked. I no longer bother commenting on people's posts anymore for the fear that they will shut my account down again. By the way, this was a post that I made to help keep my account a while back. So listen up. Oh, Facebook, I'm sorry I violated your community standards. I promise that in the future I will wear my mask. I will not tell people that masks are useless. I will promote that violent rioters are peaceful protesters, unless, of course, they're rioting on January 6th. I will promote that violent criminals are martyrs and not scum. I will not discuss home protection. You know what I mean. I will admit that Biden is president and there was no election fraud. I will honor the greatest politician ever, Nancy Pelosi. I will not suggest people violate unconstitutional mandates. Right? I will not promote gatherings that do not fit your agenda. I will not forward videos with any truth to them. I will not post pictures of the American flag. I will not participate in any free thinking. I will not talk about any possibility of the host that exists. Several of the hoaxes that exist. I understand that boys can be girls and girls can be boys, no matter what they have in their pants. I understand that until the baby is released, it is not real. Therefore, a woman's right to murder her unborn child is fine. I will kneel and hold up my fist when you say so. Gas prices are Putin's fault and not the fault of our great president who was fairly elected. I will be a good citizen and only think the way you want me to. Of course, finally, I will also censor all the people in my groups to abide by your standards. Can I keep my precious Facebook account now? That's typically what happens. Well, it seemed to work, by the way, because I'm still here. Look for less and less use of Facebook login, and for that matter, less and less use of people actually logging in to the app of Facebook in the future. Besides, the only thing good on Facebook is this show anyway. Look, no offense, but ordinarily a man who's almost 80 years old has no idea about cryptocurrency, nor cares about cryptocurrency. When you say Biden, who's almost 80 and only cares about, his 10% as the big guy being paid from his son who got a job that he couldn't do, that was paid a ridiculous amount of money, and you add the man's cognitive ability, I doubt he had any idea what was in this proposal to regulate crypto. But anyway, the only crypto Biden could possibly be concerned about are, the crypt, not crypto. Well, getting back to Tales from the Crypto by Biden, there's been talk about new regulations for crypto to protect the public from misinformation and from scammers who use the momentum of the price of crypto to hurt many people financially. And by the way, if you ever get a message from Money Chat Now that says buy crypto or crypto, I'm selling crypto, it's a scam. It's not me. I have no interest in crypto whatsoever, and you guys should all know that. Anyway, this includes fraud and fraudulent transactions that they're trying to stop. Some of the key takeaways from the new proposed regulations will include an effort to eliminate illegal activity. I don't know how they're going to do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I hope they do, but I don't really know how they can possibly do it. However, it's an interesting statement from the White House fact sheet on the matter. The president will evaluate whether to call upon Congress to amend the Bank Secrecy Act, anti-tip-off statutes, and laws against unlicensed money transmitting to apply explicitly to digital asset service providers, including digital asset exchangers and non-fungible token platforms, NFTs. So basically, the anonymity of crypto transaction may not be anonymous anymore. Another proposal for the U.S. is to create its own digital dollar. By launching their own digital dollar, the intent is to eliminate the need for crypto in the country. Even Federal Chair Jerome Powell previously said the main incentive for U.S. to launch its own central bank digital currency would be to eliminate the use case for crypto coins in America. That's very telling, obviously, right? The government doesn't like anonymity. They want to be in every part of your business, and this is how to keep them in your business. Well, at least the Democrats do, right, Ken? Another intent of the proposal is to maintain stability and link the value to something like current fiat currencies. The ironic part of this is that the dollar that used to be linked to something stable like gold and silver is now linked to, well, the full faith of the government. This might be we're in such financial trouble right now. Anyway, I've heard rumors of the government trying to tame this wild west of digital assets, and frankly, I don't think they really have to worry about it much longer. In my opinion, eventually this crazy fad will crawl under the pet rock it came from. As I often explain, can Bitcoin make you a millionaire? Yes, if you are a billionaire. That the liberals would like to do anything they can to eliminate guns from anyone, especially the law-abiding citizens who have the right to own a weapon according to the Constitution of the United States. As a Second Amendment right advocate, you and I are constantly worried about the Second Amendment being abolished or about some law that would make our Second Amendment rights difficult. There are some out there. But one of the biggest worries is that the government will come take away our guns. The fear of this happening is so ingrained in some that as gun owners, we may even be afraid to let the government know how many or what guns we have. Well, it looks like a new procedure, not a law, might make this easier for the government to find out what guns you have, and even when you bought them, and even when you bought them, and basically the problem is that they're going to know when you bought them, they're going to know when you have them, and it has some gun owners and advocates a little annoyed. All right, let me try to explain. If you have a credit card and you buy anything with it, the credit card company tags that purchase with a code that's called a merchant category. Look, you're probably more aware of this than you think. If you've ever received an end-of-the-year statement from companies like Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, you have seen that your purchases are broken out into categories. And it's done basically with a merchant code that is assigned to basically that purchase or establishment selling that item. Well, it appears that the credit card companies are now going to add a new code in the system specifically for guns, ammo, and other weapon accessories. This new code is voluntarily being added by the companies, and it was a result of Democrat leaders who wrote letters to the card companies asking for it. Previously, gun store sales were categorized as general merchandise. As of this month, they will be categorized as gun sales. Of course, the liberals are praising this new policy, and Mayor Adams of New York said in a statement, "When you buy an airline ticket or pay for your groceries, your credit card company has a special code for those retailers. It's just common sense that we have the same policies in place for gun and ammunition stores." The National Rifle Association said the move is nothing more than a capitulation to anti-gun politicians and activists bent on eroding the rights of law-abiding Americans one transaction at a time. Look, the NRA continued and said, this is not about tracking or preventing any virtuous motivation. It's about creating a national registry of gun owners. So basically, we have the politicians who want to use this to track the purchase of guns, and we have the NRA saying, how dare you track the purchases? Look, frankly, I got to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure this rule is going to stop any illicit gun purchases. You know, who's going to care? They're going to buy it with cash. They're going to buy it with anything else. And really, it's not going to make much of a difference if they buy it with their credit card. But seriously, how does it really infringe on the rights of gun purchases any differently than someone buying anything with a credit card? I don't really see it as a problem. I actually see the publicizing of this change being more of a problem than the change itself. It'll probably lead to more cash gun sales in the future because of the paranoia being tracked. The reality is gun shops probably have cameras. Actually, they always have cameras. They always have security everywhere. And when you purchase a gun, you're filling out paperwork each time anyway. Believe me, the government already knows what guns you have purchased legally anyway. So the change is nothing really to stop illicit gun sales. And really, it does nothing to make it easier to track your gun purchase. So frankly, I wouldn't worry much about it, but, you know, it's just another annoyance. A company named Nikola was formed, and basically its intention was to be a big player in the alternate fuel vehicle space, I should say. This company had made promises of both electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles, and the founder, Trevor Milton, you know, basically could have run himself into becoming the next Elon Musk. The company's stock rose from about $10 a share to popping into the 90s in 2020, just a short time ago. The company was on fire, and the founder, Trevor Milton, had hit it big time. Well, it appears that Milton wasn't quite honest with the shareholders and basically misled them. Milton is now standing trial on fraud charges related to statements he made about the company's technology and products. Federal prosecutors allege these statements were exaggerated and misleading. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan has alleged that Trevor Milton lied about nearly all aspects of the business since its inception and during the time as chairman and CEO of the company. According to prosecutors, those lies were intended to bolster sales of the startup stock, and Milton is facing 2 counts of securities fraud and 2 counts of wire fraud, all related to statements he made about Nikola's business while he was chairman and CEO of the company. If convicted, he could face up to 25 years in federal prison. All right, prosecutors allege the following. Milton said that the company's first semi-truck prototype, called the Nikola 1, was fully functional, but it wasn't. A video showing the prototype truck apparently driving under its own power was created by rolling the truck, which couldn't drive on its own and had no engine. All right. Also, Milton claimed that Nikola had engineered and built an electric pickup truck called the Badger, but prosecutors say the Badger was little more than a concept, and it basically was sketches and renderings at the time of Milton's initial statements. While the company eventually showed the prototype Badger, the truck was in fact built by a third-party vendor and based on a truck from a large automaker. Milton also told investors that Nikola was producing hydrogen gas that it needed to refuel its fuel cell powered trucks at a reduced cost. It also said that Nikola was developing electric vehicle batteries in-house and that Nikola had binding orders representing billions in revenue for its electric trucks. And all of these statements were false, according to prosecutors. This guy's in deep trouble. He's in deep trouble. And I'll bet jail time is in his future. He might even be in there for 25 years. I've done some research on Nikola, and I don't think they're closing their doors, at least not yet. Personally, I'm hoping for a merger with several small vehicle manufacturers, and if I own shares, I might get a piece of it. By the way, Milton is also accused of making a similar misrepresentation to the seller of a ranch he purchased in 2020 in an attempt to get the seller to accept Nikola's stock as payment for the purchase. Oy. Hey, I want to thank you for watching Money Chat Now. Don't forget, we are live every morning at 7:30 on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And of course, you can also find repeats of the show on Rumble and Spotify. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I am the CEO of Investor Schooling. Don't forget, you can also contact me directly at contactlarry.com. That's contactlarry.com. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Make it a profitable day.